Hello again. This is the Watering Man. Spiritual Toolbox number 216. This is a little offshoot, the Devil, number 2. Okay? And it's an examination table where we're documenting this. We're breaking it down and prove it to ourselves. Demystify all this malarkey stuff. Let's get it right in our mind. So we can go on beyond being little children to these rudimentary, elementary things, like it says in Hebrews chapter 6. Go on beyond that, water baptism, all this stuff. Don't stay as a little child. No, go on. Okay? God permit you. Go on beyond these rudimentary or elementary principles. Okay? Alright. We list them there. Okay? Go on beyond whatever level you're at in each and every thought process. Understand it for what it is. Autonomy. Turn from that old stuff when God separates it in that centrifuge and go into God full bore. And then He'll bring a harao and increase. You'll understand through that experience. Oh my goodness. Not just have some plaque or thing up on the wall saying, I know what this is. Look at this. I'm a great guy. Plaque on my chest. Yeah. Throw that crap in the trash. Humanistic thinking. Make God true and all that humanistic thinking a liar. Ooh, yuck. Okay? Which one are you obeying? Are you obeying God? Going into God's righteousness? God's love beyond words? Seeing God as your exceeding great reward? Are you being cowering down and bowing the knee to that old carnal mind? The old false accuser? That diabolos, the devil? It's your carnal mind. It's not some fictitious monster outside. As a baby, you can get all kinds of imaginary things. You can see a lawnmower out there and think, oh man, that's a big monster. Oh. I'm sure you got to respect it and not stick your fingers underneath it. You get your fingers cut off. That blade's cutting the grass, but it's a tool. It's maintaining like your yard or something so that you can go out there and not get ate up or go through a whole big jungle of junk growing up all over your neck, going out there and trying to wade through that. Man, you get bit by snakes and all kinds of stuff. A lot more mosquitoes, bugs, and all kinds of stuff make you just sicker than a dog. Kind of like eating of that old carnal mind. Your own righteousness. Get sicker than a dog. Stick a big mouthful of that hog slop, that poop and pee, all the hog, right in your mouth, chew it up. Kind of like I did when I was little with the big old thing, or as Red Horse or Red Man, chewing tobacco. Man, it was some harsh stuff. I put that in there just like much as I could get and swallowed it, chewed it. Thought I was being just like my grandpa. Made me sicker than a dog. But it didn't last forever and ever and ever. And infinity plus one again. It didn't condemn me to hell. And my grandpa was a lot less than God. He just let me experience that thing. Teach me firsthand. Firsthand experience. Oh man, that's some nasty stuff. Just like in the hospital, they had so much medication stuff. They put me in a coma, and I had big shots of morphine and all kinds of stuff, just passing out to make it through it. I wouldn't have survived. I didn't have a choice. Okay? And I was severely addicted to that stuff in the hospital. Fortunately, they took me off of it, but I got to experience what it's like. Those withdrawals were so strong, I would just like literally about pass out or go into some kind of daydreaming state that I had no control. And I couldn't get up and walk around. Shoot, I couldn't even sit up. With all my teeth in the front. So they wouldn't even come together in the front. I could stick my finger in sideways and bite all the way together, and I had like a tooth and a half touching in the back. And I had my finger in it, just be putting a little bit of pressure. Okay? All those teeth were real sore and stuff. Later on, I had to have surgeries and have both those cut and banded and a whole bunch of crap. A whole other ordeal. Okay? And my dad told me bye up there. And I was just in withdrawal so bad. I bit the blood out of his cheek with my back teeth. I didn't even remember it till he came in the next day to visit me. And he had a big bandage on his face. And I was asking, Dad, what's wrong with you? What happened to you? He looked at me and said, you the hell happened to me. And it kind of came flooding back to, like in a fog. I kind of remembered. And I started remembering, oh my goodness. And I was all the way down to like, man, I was like, so thin and everything. I was down like 26 pounds in the hospital bed and couldn't hardly do nothing. Somehow I managed to bite the blood out of my dad's jaw, which I would never do. I got to experience that. Thankfully, they took me off of that stuff in the hospital. Oh, my Lord, that was such torment. There's no way you could do that on your own. So I experienced it firsthand. So I can truly understand. Not just have a theory. Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. If you do. You know, kind of like a birthday abuse is better than you going, yeah, I know exactly what to do there. I got a big diploma on the wall. You haven't really went through it. You don't know. That's a horrible thing. I could not do that. I wouldn't have been able. That would have been doom and gloom to me if I'd been released in that state. Because in order to get through all this stuff, like letting the nerve grow back in my leg, an inch a month, and I mean, oh my Lord, pain everywhere all the time. Sometimes so bad I couldn't stand it. Infections, my temperature baking my brain. I mean, oh my goodness, all this stuff. God caused all this stuff to work together for good. Not immediately, right then, that I reap it. It still had to grow, just like a seed when it's in the ground. It has to grow and become a plant. Takes some time. Maturing process. This autonomy, turn from it, 180 degree about face. You gotta experience the stuff and get that. Then you gotta study to show yourself approved. There's a whole big bunch. It has to happen in God's way. Not just, well, I just see it as this way. It's a straight line. It's the shortest. Doesn't work that way. Not in the spirit. Not when you're following Christ. You'll never get that way. Never get there. Never get from your carnal state of being to the existence in the self-existing one. You won't increase any at all. You can't. You have to experience it. That's why you're kind of like being allowed to be dragged through that dirt, through that clod stuff, like that. One word that I was looking in there, I couldn't quite place it. But it's the Chaldeans. I won't take it there. Back in Daniel, where they accused the Jews at that time. The God's once is working on us. Okay. He's changing the inside spiritual Jew. He's bringing you back as He permits, as He wants. You're the clay. He's the potter. Right. Cloud breaker is Chaldeans is a cloud breaker. They're down in that dirt, being allowed to be dragged in that dirt, and then break it up. So it's got in that whirlwind, just like in Job 23:10. It said, "When God has tested me, when God has tried me, I shall come forth as gold, pure God, the nature of God, nature, character, and authority of God." Not as this old stainless dirt. That's it's breaking it up. And that dust thinking, that clods. Ooh, there's a lot of that in them little balls. Ooh, God's separating it with His word. Okay? And get all mixed up. Oh, this is a big bad bully. Man, I was in that thing right there, that right? Woe is me. No, thank God. If I knew beforehand, going into all these different things, I went to, and you too, it'd be a big chicken. Run from that stuff. No way. Whenever God's spinning it up, centrifuge. He's not in a choice. You gotta turn to God with everything you got, or else you get all hardened down and calloused and set in your own ways and become an old wineskin. Then in the new ways, new wine, burst that bubble and you just left with whatever God's got in there. Remember, He put that spirit in that clay body. You were stuck with whatever level you're at. Please, come on, be reasonable. Come back to me. Father God's telling us. Don't stay a clodbuster. Come out of that dust thinking. Okay? I'm dragging you in there for experience. So you like experiencing that, coming through that stuff that I wasn't able to do myself. There wouldn't be no way I could do that myself. It's just too extreme. Hey, man, I don't know how many days it was. That's just one of a long list of things. And those are just things other people can see. God, this has stopped. All kinds of things. Still doing it. And when I know I'm going through this thing, I can look forward to if I can come through this thing. I turn from God, turn from that, my own righteousness, relying upon it, and come into God full bore. There's something big going to open up. This big thing here is dealing with this devil thing. Hopefully to bring you out, help you, equip you, give you a little spiritual toolbox to help you with this. Okay? But you still got to work out your own salvation, your deliverance between you and God. You got to do it. I can't do it for you. Can I lead a horse to water? I can't make it drink. If if you insist on keeping that 666 in your forehead, that man thinking, mankind thinking, in your forehead and in your words, in your hand, can't do nothing. I don't work stuff for you. Not at all. That stuff sucks. It's hog slop. I'm saying, look at this, man. This is hog slop here. And these like bullying tyrant things that's in your mind. Like Deuteronomy 7:1 spells out 6 of them, and it says they're mightier, greater, and mightier than you are. Just like that old, trying to get out a lot of this stuff. I could, like all those medications and morphine, all these different things, they was been putting massive doses in me to just help me get over the top, get through this stuff. In the natural, I wouldn't have been able to overcome that. I wouldn't have been able to learn to walk all over again with some training and some parallel bars and not being allowed to, only be able to put 10% of your weight on it and have physical therapists all around me and stuff helping me. Wouldn't have been able to walk with a walker with a wheelchair behind me until I just drop in that wheelchair and go a little bit farther each day. Kind of like an anabolic state of muscle growth. You're progressing. And your strength, just like when you're gaining from level to level to level, because you're turning from that old stinking thinking and going back into God's righteousness. You're growing, increasing in strength, in the love of God, in His righteousness. God is our strength. Not me, myself, and I. Shut up, you old dog. Don't give that devil, that false accuser, it's an adjective, right? That descriptive thing of what that old carnal mind's doing to you, right? Just like back there in that, Daniel. The thing trying to chew you up. Like it's that old mean lion. They were trained to eat them up. To make that centrifuge go boom, and then separate. God said, now, come back to me. Don't stay in that old crap. Get rid of that. Don't stay married, like that woman at the well, to your 5 senses, controlled by that old ego. Your own me, myself, and I. It's trying to edge God out. Come on, be reasonable. My way is a lot better. It's superior to that. I'm letting you experience it so you can see, man, that stuff, it's just, man, that's terrible. As a little kid, I swallowed that big old jaw full of that is Red Man or Red Horse. I don't really remember which one it was, but I remember the package and stuff. Oh, my Lord. Made me sick, real sick. It's funny now. I'm sure right when I was going through that, it wasn't real funny. Oh, I was sicker than a dog. Right? But it's not to you to kill you. Okay? Okay? No. Let's continue a little bit more in this about the devil, okay? It's not some monster right here. That's baloney. Actually, a good bologna sandwich with some pinto beans and stuff. I like that. But this is horse shit from your own beast nature, right? Yeah, that's a bunch of garbage. Just trying to fear tactics. Ooh, you better be afraid. God is not giving you a spirit of fear, but a power, love, and a sound mind. Be reasonable, my child. Come out of this stuff. Get your mind right. Right? You don't need that stuff. It don't work, does it? See there? That's it. It don't work. That good, bad, and ugly stuff and all them empty promises. Like some politicians saying, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, vote for us, vote for this. Then they get in office and it's just like it is, kind of like it is now, in the natural. I'm not going to say names. Okay? Not very productive, is it? Silly stuff. You know, just like they wanted, they didn't want the other king. They wanted us. They wanted, a different king. The God gave him Saul. Yeah, man, he just did all kinds of nasty stuff to him. All right? Don't want to be turned over to that old stinking carnal stuff. It'll chew you up. Right? Like getting thrown in the lion's den and God not protecting you. It'll chew you up. But if you turn to God and stuff, it don't matter. They throw you in there like Daniel. Lay down, you big dog. It's a big old lion. Lay down there, dog. Spend the night with them. Oh, you're a good boy, aren't you? I know you're hungry, but you can't eat me. Like the Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, the 3 days in your earthly thinking in that fiery furnace. He'd look 5 times as hot. God's in there with you. Turn to Him. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, all your thinking processes, all your mind. Get your mind right. Full bore. Give it all. Okay. Now, let's get down here. That diabolos. 12, let me see what that was. 1228. That diabolos, it's an adjective, right? And that word comes, the etymology of that is from the verb form of that, which is 1225, diabolo, okay? And that word's like a compound word made up of 2 words, okay? They're right here. Get right in this. We're just off the first time that's used in the New Testament, in Matthew chapter 4, verse 1, okay? It says, in the King James Version, then Jesus led up of the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. Not some out here devil thing, okay? It's in your mind. We got to do it the same way as God. Same way as the parent son did it. If you don't suffer with me, you'll not reign with me. I think it's in 1st or 2nd Timothy. It says it probably a little different in the King James, but maybe I'll take you there sometime and show you. I got to keep focused here. Okay? Now, this word diabolos, or comes down to diabolo, the verb, okay, the adjective to the verb, and now we're going down and show this, there we go, diabolos.
Strong's G 1228,
Diabolos, okay. Diabolos. Down to, and its etymology comes from 1225, this word.
Strong's G 1225, diabolo.
Okay, it's a verb,
Diabolo.
Right? An action, right? And that word comes from a compound word, 2 words, okay, that make up this 1 word. And it's 1223, that's that dia, D-I-A. It means to and through, like going through a channel, okay? You fall away and going that broad way into your own righteousness, or you're going to turn and go into the narrowing way into God, okay? And it comes from 906. And that's at Ballo, B-A-L-L-O. It's a verb.
Strong's G 906. Ballo. Ballo.
Okay. Sorry about that. I had it turned down a little bit. I think you can still probably hear it though. Well, that ballo is a primary word. It's to throw or let go of anything without caring where it falls. Treating it as insignificant. Remember, in the dichotomies, the carnal mind and God's righteousness, God is enmity. They're directly opposed to each other. Right? Okay? Dichotomy, okay? You red light, it goes to that carnal mind and stay in your own Adamic nature, character, and authority. Your tree of knowledge of good and evil, what you think is good and bad and ugly, it's all ugly. You're falling away. It's abroad is that way. Many are that'll go that way. Okay? But the other way, turning back to God, doing 180-degree about face from that thing that you were subjected to not willingly but in hope, turn from that. Reliance upon that, resting and relying upon that on your own reason, and go into God's right-mindedness, God's love beyond words. God is the greatest. He is your exceeding great reward, not a villain, not a monster, not the worst, most powerful tyrant of all times. He'll take 90% of everybody and torment them. Whether you agree or not, he's going to torment them forever and ever and ever. And infinity plus one, more worse than anything anybody could ever possibly do. Hogwash. Double-minded. Can't you see that? Okay? You got to turn from that stuff. Good, bad, and ugly stuff. And go into God full bore. And that's a narrow wing path. I know King James says the narrow path. Few are that'll go that way. But it's the narrow wing path. It's getting narrow. It's like a funnel. It's getting narrowed down. More pressures. But you're able to handle it better. Because like that bridge is being built up from 1 to 2 to 4 to 8. And it's remaining pliable. Not getting totally rigid in the letter of the law. Because the letter of the law kills, but the spirit of the law of life in God. God's greatness gives life, gives the fullness of life. You get that increase. You're stronger in God. Because He is strong. He is your strength. He's your high tower. He's your refuge. You're resting, relying, and in union with God. In, and that's why I ain't God. You're heading that way. He's a rewarder of those. God is a rewarder of those that diligently seek Him. Not those that disagree. And eye of the storm, and no, you can't go through that eye of the needle with your hands full of all kinds of that baggage of that carnality. Gotta give it up. On the Spirit. God's righteousness, He's increasing you. I surrender all, at whatever level you are. Okay? Alright. Gotta kind of pick it up a little bit. I'm getting closer and closer to time being out, okay? Now, when the Thayer is this ballo, second part of this compound word, diaballo. It's like dia, D-I-A, and B-A-L-L-O, 2 words, okay? And it's a verb. In the Thayers, it means to throw, either with force or without force, yet with a purpose, or even carelessly. It's insignificant, right? Either you're agreeing that carnal mind is insignificant and going into God full bore, or you're agreeing with your carnal mind, letting it reign as king of your life, feeding you poop hot dogs and poop hamburgers and poop milkshakes, and counting God as insignificant. whether you're saying it or not, your actions, your thought processes. Your thought process up here with that 666, you're remaining that 666, and your actions are in your hand is matching it. Got to turn from that stuff again and again and again. Exist back into God. When you fall, one way or the other, okay? One's own carnal mind, our own righteousness, seeks to cast God's righteousness into the trash. And God's asking you, you want to chop it out? Shall we skim this stuff out that I'm melting off of it? Because it's a consuming fire and it's a refiner's fire. God's cleaning you up. He's purifying it. You'll turn from that old. You can't keep both. And go back into God full bore. And He'll increase you. He won't overwhelm you. He'll just put it right to where it'll seem like it's overwhelming you. Okay? Now, I'll have to continue the next, I got diabolos. That's 1228. It's an adjective, and it occurs 38 times in 36 verses in the New Testament in the TR Greek. Okay? I'll pick up here and list out how many times it occurs in different language in the diabolos, and then that Satan, which corresponds to it in the whole Old Testament. I'll go through these a little bit. Okay? Next time. Bye-bye.